What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade coming to y'all with that instant reaction slash analysis on Mike Budenholzer getting fired. If I had to be honest, I'm not really surprised. The players was going against Mike Budenholzer. They was arguing on the bench. They seemed like they wasn't listening to him. They seemed like they didn't really care about what he had to say. They seemed like they was just losing interest in what he was trying to do as a coach. So seeing Mike Budenholzer get fired early this morning, I'm not surprised. It's sad because he went from winning championships with the Milwaukee Bucks and having a great career even with the Atlanta Hawks. And now he's just another coach that's continually being disrespected and continually having trouble keeping a legitimate long-term run, possibly even in the future in the NBA as a head coach. David Griffin, he also got fired. I don't really know what to say about him. I feel like he put a great team together. He just couldn't see what they can do because all the injuries that ended up happening to that roster. I know he's going to use that as a big reason to why he didn't have a successful season as a GM. But when it comes to talent, it's not too many people running to New Orleans. It's not too many people trying to go to New Orleans in general. Just to be honest, when you're looking at a place to play and you're looking at something that you're trying to do, this is probably one of the last places you're going to go. And that's why you have so many other states and other cities having that same problem, actually recruiting players to want to go there. Either you have the star player or you have to get the star player. After you get that, then you might get another one. That's how it usually works. And they got Zion, and that was the big piece that they needed. But if he's not going to stay on the court, then any GM that gets the job with the Pelicans is going to have trouble and have problems putting a consistent good team around. Anybody in this organization will say the same, the Pelicans team. You know what I mean? And Zion has been a guy that's been highly respected, and a lot of people give him his credit, and he has been an all-star before too. But if that man can't stay healthy, they're going to have to find another star and trade him and possibly rebuild all over anyway. And I think that's what David Griffin gets fired for. Like, do you really want to rebuild with David Griffin? He's not a bad GM. It's just the facts that how hard and how many years it would take to try to figure out a way to go in the right direction again. We are already in the middle of the 2020s by it being 2025. How much years do you think you can go with this man? Because he's already an older GM too. So I understand possibly why they will fire David Griffin. I understand why they probably felt like he wasn't the guy for them. And it makes sense why they went, with this decision. But the Pelicans going to be a mess for years. They have a lot of guys under contract. They have a lot of guys that are really young. They have a lot of guys that play a little reckless, and that can lead to injuries. And then they have a superstar that you're just not going to know how many games he's going to play each and every year. And even if you trade him, you basically retooling, or you're going to have to go full in on a rebuild. You will get a good return for Zion, clearly, because he's one of the best players, especially when he's healthy. But if that doesn't turn out great, then you even going to be in a situation where you're rebuilding even longer. And that's going to be trouble. That's going to be a problem. But it's something that's a reality if anybody wants or takes the position in New Orleans. And I just feel like Mike Budenholzer just looking – he's not getting a lot of respect that he should. He's a great coach. He knows the game. He knows how to, put guys in situations where they can succeed. He knows how to push superstars to be great on both ends of the court. And for him to be going through this ugliness of the NBA is just a shame. You know what I mean? But once Kevin Durant and Mike Budenholzer got into it, and once they failed to make the play-in tournament, let alone the playoffs, you knew that this day was coming, and there's no doubt about it. It's not going to shock anybody for that reason. But Mike Budenholzer, I think, I want to see if he's going to take a break. I want to see if he's going to get another job, because I still feel like when it comes to tacticianers and it comes to preparation, Mike Budenholzer is one of the best coaches you can get. Now, when you have the superstar players like Kenny Atkinson, them say you got to deal with all the egos and all that type of stuff. They try to belittle you. They try to act like they know just as much as you. They always want to battle back and forth with you, making it harder to be heard, making it harder to get your respect because they're just gonna give it to the superstar players. If the superstar players play well, that was a big reason why they won, and that was a big reason why it happened, and that's a big reason why they succeeded. Even though that's part of the thing, and that's realistically what should happen too, because you got to get them ready, you got to get them understanding what they need to do as a team, because it's not just a one star driven league like other sports like golf and stuff like that. So I look at it like Mike Budenholzer are just going to have to figure out, at this point of his career, what's next, because you don't want to keep going through the fire. Like, I want to be in a winning situation. I want to be in a successful situation because I feel like I'm a good enough coach to be able to be warranted to get that. And I think that that's something that he does have to look at, once he's trying to interview for a spot or get asked, do he want a spot? What are we really trying to accomplish? What's the criteria? And what do I need to do as a coach to be able to keep this spot for the long term? Because I don't want to be getting fired every 2 to 3 years. Like a lot of these coaches is getting in those situations. I don't want to be in that. I feel like I'm too smart for that. I feel like I'm too knowledgeable for that. And I don't want the inconsistency. Now I got to move here. Now I got to move there. Now I got to cater to this. Now I got to cater to that. My job is to be a coach. And that's what I'm supposed to do and nothing else. You know what I mean? I know what comes with the business. I know what comes with the situation. But this is just getting ridiculous with the coaches being fired for the stupidest, the most pettiest reasons. And then you have to literally pay them and then find another coach and start all the way over and try to figure out how to win with that coach and that team when it's basically some of these teams staying the same. Once something small happens, the coaches are always the scapegoat, even if they do their job. Some of these teams, like the Denver Nuggets, they won 47 plus games and they coach still got fired. They go say you still should have won more. You still, and they got their GM get fired. So it's just funny looking at it like, man, the NBA has some real bad, ugly situations that sometimes you just think like, is it really even worth taking the money? Do I even want to take the money? And I remember the coach that coached the Suns too. He ended up having the same situation in Detroit. Monty Williams. I really don't want to take this job. I really don't want to take this position because I know how hard it is to build this team up. I know how hard it is to get a team to be successful, especially when they're mostly young. And he got fired. You know what I mean? And then they have success with JB Bickerstaff. So it's just crazy. It's just madness. It's just something that happens. And like I say, even David Griffin said, I don't even know what I can do. The injuries are out of my control. I don't know how to build a better roster than what we have right now for the Pelicans. And he was making all these deals. I'm saying, I don't have a problem with nothing that he did. People just didn't like he traded Brandon Ingram, but you have to keep one or the other. And is Trey Murphy? Do you want to keep Trey Murphy or do you want to keep Brandon Ingram? Brandon Ingram a little older. He has some injury issues, but you only can pay one or the other if you're trying to build a roster that's competitive. And he went with the younger guy that can do similar things. So I think he made good decisions. I think he made great moves. It just he couldn't see it in reality because the team stayed beat up, toe up, and injured. And that's fair. But when you look at the things he's done, he did everything right. You know what I mean? For the most part, for his position in the team that he's doing it for. But I think Mike Budenholzer, man, he might have to look at these situations just a little bit different because, you look at it like I just got done coaching Giannis. That didn't work after a while. Now I'm having an ability to coach Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal with some solid role players around them, and we couldn't even win 40 games. That is a disappointment. That is a failure of a season. So I do understand why he got fired. But once I start seeing him lose the locker room, and once I start seeing him saying, I need you guys' help to keep this job because I really do care about y'all. I really do want to help y'all win. I do want to help y'all be better players. Then I knew that Mike Budenholzer is going to be out of there. Like this guy, he's not the worst coach. He's not a bad coach. He's a good coach. It's just these teams not feeling him. And that's why they only last 2 to 3 years. You happy, you blessed if you get 5 years as a coach. And it's just the truth. And I'm just looking at a lot of this stuff and saying, man, the NBA season just ended and some of these coaches have just been in some tough, ugly, lose-lose situations. And if it wasn't for them getting paid millions of dollars, I don't think that they will want to do it again. especially because a lot of this stuff is out of their control and they just have to find a way to adjust and like the situation. Another coach that ended up getting fired that I didn't make a video on was Taylor Jenkins. And a lot of people say, I didn't really like how he did his offense. I don't really like the way they was playing. They didn't have John Morant for a couple seasons. Desmond Bain emerged as a rising star. Jaren Jackson became the guy that we thought he'd be when he got drafted, even though he still does some things that he did back in the day, like the fouling and the rebound, that didn't really improve or evolve yet. But we'll see if he's able to do that in the future. But I feel like that was one of those firings where I didn't see it coming because I didn't think they would do it so late in the season, like a lot of people said. And I would agree with that. But now it's like it's the end of the season. So you might even see a guy like Nick Nurse. What is if I don't have a healthy roster, I might be out of a job. And if that happens, if I get a message on my phone or my computer telling me Nick Nurse got fired, I don't think nobody would be surprised about that because he had a job that was just like David Griffin's. I got a lot of talent, just couldn't show up with them to go to work and go to war with them. And now I'm just in a situation where people look at me as the bad guy because somebody got to fall for the failure. The GMs always get saved because they can always just hire a new coach. They can always just change the personnel, get those rotten apples out of the basket, and just put some fresh ones in there and eat them while they ripe. That's what you should be doing. That's what you should be trying to do. But it's just not existing in the modern NBA. One thing that a lot of these people and organization is lacking is responsibility and accountability. And if you're not going to do that for your organization, the player's going to have that same problem with you, the coaching staff, and teammates. And it just becomes a bad environment, an unprofessional environment, a messy environment. And then guys are getting traded, guys are getting fired, guys are all over the place. And that's why you see a lot of people like we have seen with Denver. It's just time to get rid of the coach. It's just time to get rid of the GM and just go in a totally different direction because we can't win when everybody's not on the same page. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. All of us trying to accomplish the goal that's at hand. And if we can't do that, we have to get rid of the guys that we feel are the problem. And Mike Budenholzer was the problem. David Griffin was the problem today. And we're going to see more people would be let go by the end of the week. And it's unfortunate because the play-in tournament going to make other people be under review. You didn't check this box. You didn't check that box. Let's see if we can find a better candidate. Let's see if we can find somebody that can handle this position better. And then we're just going to go out there and see what they can do. And it takes a long time to build that trust, to build that, chemistry, and build that respect level between every level of the organization. And it can take another 3 to 4 to 5 years to get it right. And this is what organizations are not figuring out. To keep hitting a reset button ain't really solving, ain't really fixing things. You're just trying to find a quicker way to do it. But if you're not doing it right and you're not going about it with the right steps and the right mindset, you're going to be set back again over and over. And then you'll just be like some of these other organizations, always looking to get another high draft pick that's going to save their day. But if you're not going to go about it the right way, you're not going to solve it the right way, you're not going to be able to touch it the right way, then you're just going to be in the same situation for 20, 30, 40 years. And we have seen a lot of teams be in that turmoil for that long. And they still haven't won the championship or still haven't even come close to it. And it just comes with recruiting, and it comes with stability, responsibility, and accountability. Just that easy, just that simple. And people just don't understand that those things are that important and just that detrimental if you're not doing it the right way or you're not making it the right way from the beginning. But you got to be stern, and you got to want people to actually do their jobs. You got to want people to actually come in and work and do it the right way. And you have to watch, and you have to be able to call people out. You have to be able to step on some toes sometimes just to get them to do the job the right way, so it don't end up turning one apple to a bad one and then just damaging and destroying the whole basket. So easier said than done. Easier to think about when you see it from the outside looking in. But honestly, we done heard about these things and seen these things too much to a point where we figure how it should go, how it shouldn't go, just as being fans of the league and being fans of these teams in general. But most teams going to preach they want to do it right. They're going to preach that they feel like they're going in the right direction. But you have to do it from the day one all the way to day zero. And that's just how it's going to continue to be. even in the future. Other than that, comment, like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell for more analysis. And if you're new to the channel, I do conversation video just like this of various different NBA only topics. I also do breakdowns with real footage of legends, current legends, rookies, and also future stars. I also do mock drafts and draft coverage. So if you love that type of stuff, this may be the channel for you. And if you're thinking that it may not, I got over 3,000 videos already on my channel that you can check out and possibly become a fan or a subscriber if you ain't. That's all I can say about that. You can check out my social medias. They also on my channel. You can check out my email is also on my channel if you don't want to leave a comment. And if you don't want to message me on social media, and social media is for you to see some different things that I like to do besides basketball only content that's on this channel. Other than that, hope you guys having a good day. Hope you're having a blessed day. Hope you guys doing a good job of keeping yourself positive, getting ready for the work week, grinding it out. And for all the morning warriors, I've been waking up early in the morning trying to get these video out. And this is just another one that I had to make. And I'm just having fun with it. Thank y'all for kicking it with me. Thanks for checking in with me. Thanks for coming to see what I had to say. Thank y'all for showing interest for the people that didn't want to subscribe. And other than that, y'all stay blessed up. I'm gone for now. And I will see y'all hopefully later today with more analysis. If not, you got me possibly tomorrow, hopefully. And other than that, I just want the best for y'all. Let's keep trying to have a better year than 2015. That's the only goal that we have for this channel this year. It's just trying to succeed and continuing to stay focused and locked in on being the best content creator for analysis, especially for basketball, that I can be, and just try to make sure y'all got some form of entertainment each and every day throughout the weeks, throughout the months, throughout the years, throughout the days that we still living on this planet called Earth. Other than that, y'all stay blessed up. I'm going for now, and hopefully I can see you guys later again.